Jon Anik, Felder, Daniel Cormier here in Washington, D.C. And you don't necessarily need to know how to spell it. Probably need to learn how to say it now. Jairzinho Rozenstruik, with 4 seconds to spare, was on his way to losing a judge's decision tonight against Alistair Overeem. And he didn't lose, 10-0, big knockout, and Overeem needs some lip service.
Yeah, I mean, that's the crazy part of this heavyweight division, right, is it only takes one shot like that. He landed that nice scoop, left uppercut, big right hand, and, man, mangled Alistair's face. I feel for him to be winning that fight and then get taken out like that at the end.
Yeah, I mean, he took that big strike, and Alistair was winning the fight. I mean, there was a lot about Rozenstruik that is to be commended, right? His cardio for the first time over 5 minutes, for the first time over 5 rounds, sorry. The ability to fight a long fight and still look within himself. But then to find that shot with 10 seconds left in the fight was amazing. And when he landed it, he knew. He walked off because he knew that he had landed the strike he was looking for all fight that would end it.
It used to be Mark Hunt. Now he's the king of the walk-off KO. As far as him calling out Francis Ngannou, you were kind of saying, eesh. What do you think about that?
I think it's a good fight, right? But I think he may need to change the approach against Francis, because Francis won't be as reserved as Alistair. You know, Francis is a guy that really is trying to take your head off. And Rozenstruik is going to be in more of a high-intensity type of fight with him as opposed to the fight he was into tonight. It was very measured over the course of the first 24 minutes. You don't get that against Francis Ngannou.
Yeah, Alistair way more reserved in his approach, and that's his game plan as of late. And we've seen that. He's not even afraid to kind of run away from you to get you to engage and move in on him. And if he, that fight would not, with Francis Ngannou,
doesn't do that.
He's going to bring that and try to take your face off from the opening
absolutely,
bell.
Absolutely.
All right, a lot of standout performers tonight. Aspen Ladd, big finish of Yana Kunitskaya, who came in with a lot of momentum in her own right.
Yeah, I mean, she just needed to get woken up by her corner. You know, as soon as her coach started yelling in her face to go, she went out there, switched stands, big left hook, dropped her, and went in and got that finish. And we saw glimpses of it. I can't remember if it was the first or second round, but she was on top and just screaming with ground and pound. She lost position. But once she had her hurt and she went in with that same intensity, she got the finish. That girl, I mean, the sky's the limit for her in that division.
Yeah.
I think in between rounds, the coach might have saw the fight a different way as opposed to the way it was playing out, right? Maybe it wasn't supposed to look as close to him, even though she was winning, right? She won the first 2 rounds, but maybe he didn't feel like the fight should be as competitive. So he told her, I need you to go beat her up. I need you to go and dominate. And that's exactly what she did. Yeah. I think he understood that his fighter had the potential to go out there and dominate and win the fight and end the fight. And when she put that effort and put that mind frame on into the fight, that's exactly what she did.
All right, in the nature of time, I need one more standout performer, a lot to choose from tonight.
I mean, I got to go with Rob Font. You know, I'm always a big fan of his. And his boxing's always just, you know, beautiful, that jab. And as soon as his corner got on him to stay behind that jab, it was setting up his right hand. His wrestling looked really good against somebody like, you know, Simone, who's just a stud in your face. The pressure is relentless, and Rob Font was able to just stay calm in those transitions and that wrestling positions, and his boxing is just always a thing of beauty out there.
Yeah, Rob Font fought fantastic, but you got to go with Bryce Mitchell. Anytime somebody lands a twister in the octagon in a fight, I mean, that's crazy, right? Bryce Mitchell was able to get this fight where he needed to the entire time. When he was awarded the opportunity to get a finish, he went and he found it. Found a ridiculous submission. He's going to go home with $50,000 extra, and he's back in the way that he needs to be. And over a great opponent, right? He didn't just beat nobody.
Absolutely.
He fought a good guy, a good young fighter, and he dominated and got only the 2nd twister in UFC history.
All right, as we spin it forward, we got a huge one coming up Saturday night. UFC 245, Covington versus Usman. This is a grudge match of the highest order, and very close fight, at least on paper, that's hard to call. Your thoughts?
Yeah, man, these guys are the exact same person in a lot of ways. You know, not their personalities are not, but their fighting style. Very, very, very good wrestlers. Their stand-up is still not the craziest. They're not knockout artists, but they're volume punchers. They're in your face. They're busy with it. You know, they've got submission skills under their belts as well, but the volume and the pace and the cardio from both of the gentlemen is what sets them apart. So to see them go against each other, expect it to go, you know, a furious pace for 5 rounds. Whereas tonight we saw things a little slow for 5 rounds. That is a fight where I think even if it goes 25 minutes, you're going to be on the edge of the seat, back and forth takedowns. Usman's never been taken down. Can Colby take him down? That's the question I want to see answered.
we sitting here at the end of the fight will be exhausted at the pace that these two dudes will put on next week. But for me, it's about the blessed era, right? My man Max Holloway defends his title against what I believe truly is the toughest fighter he has ever defended the belt against, Alexander Volkanovski. Volkanovski is so talented. In any other time frame, I believe he would be the champion of the world. I think Max Holloway is just a great fighter, the greatest featherweight we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Let's see if he can push back or withstand another challenge from another tough competitor. He always gets the best. Next week, he gets the best that he's ever faced in this position. Can he get the job done? If anybody can, it's Max Holloway. And if anybody can beat Max Holloway, it's Alexander Volkanovski.
Yeah, well put. And of course, not to be outdone, the third championship fight. Amanda Nunes, the consensus greatest women's mixed martial artist of all time, putting her bantamweight title on the line against a woman in Germaine de Randamie, who's got some serious striking skills, who many believe is a live underdog. So 3 title fights, they're all yours next Saturday night at UFC 245. And quickly, guys, in closing, this night was built around raising awareness and money for cancer research and honoring Stuart Scott, my former ESPN colleague. And as I said sort of off the top of the broadcast, when we launched MMA Live in 2008, he was so supportive. You know, he probably should have been the guy hosting that show, not me, you know, and to have his support, to eventually get to talk to him at UFC 159, and obviously he's no longer with us, but just a special human being, and it just meant a lot to a lot of us that were at ESPN back in the day to be able to build this night around him, you know.
Absolutely, it's fantastic, man. It was an honor to be here with you guys tonight.
Likewise,
so,
buddy.
Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. In DC, I feel you, brother.
Thank you, man. It was great, man. It was great to see my father on national television again, and every time he's shown, it honors his memory to the work that Stuart Scott did to raise awareness, the things that he's still doing today, even in passing. What a phenomenal man Stuart Scott was, and what a great organization we have the ability to work for in the UFC, and a great network in ESPN. So we're all blessed, man, and that we get to honor the ones that we truly love so much on so many occasions as we did tonight. It was great to honor the memory of our loved ones.
Nice final words there from the Natural. That's it from the nation's capital. We'll see you next Saturday night for the big one, live from the fight capital of the world.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports and analysis, download the ESPN app. And for live streaming and special content, subscribe to ESPN+.